second. Put the cream-filled cupcake down for 1 second. We're too fat. We're way too fat, and it's becoming a problem. Now, a lot of people say the solution is gym, exercise, working out. Some people are even saying fat acceptance. Feel good about yourself. Accept your weight. Big is beautiful. All that shit. And I say fat shaming. Is it good? Is it bad? And this is where I open it up to you guys. Hi, gentle people. How do you feel about fat shaming?
I'm gonna let Freddie go. No, I'm letting Freddie go first because I know this is touching her soul right now.
No, y'all can go. I'm gonna just listen.
Okay. How do you feel about fat shaming?
I think. Okay. I always been a big boy.
Thick boys.
Thick boys for the double A. Always been a big boy, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you grow up in school. I don't know. Not everybody's gonna relate, but you grow up in school. If you're a big person, you know, you get bullied. They're like, "Hey, you fat piece of shit." Right. In the beginning, it hurts, right? But over time, you kind of get used to it. Not saying bullying is good, but sometimes fat shaming can be something that's positive, right?
Okay.
It can be. But it's not going to be good for everybody because everybody reacts to it differently, right? Some people will look at it and they will conjure up things inside their brain that is negative to the point where it could be like suicidal, right?
Or harmful to their mental health.
Exactly. So it can be, it could go both ways. I'm not a fan of it, but I agree with your point. We are getting way too big as a society and something has to be done.
Okay. Miss Freddie?
I do agree that obesity is a problem in America. Mm-hmm. I don't think people should fat shame someone because they're obese. You can provide them with the proper tools to get them to be in better shape and better health. And then you have to also keep in mind that when you are approaching somebody that you presume to be fat or obese, you have to understand what's the cause or the underlying effect of them being obese. There's other things that can affect them being on the upper scale, like obesity. That could be hereditary. That could be an underlying medical condition that they don't even know about that could cause obesity. That could be just them having like a eating disorder that causes it. Like some people binge, some people are anorexic but then become obese because then they go through that binge, like the back and forth between anorexia and binging. So you have to be mindful of how you approach people. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that you need to impose your thoughts on other people or your methods on other people. If they want to be helped, then you help them, but do not shame them.
But what if data show, I'm not saying it does, just spitting out hypotheticals here. What if data shows that fat shaming works? What if it shows that, you know, somebody's saying like, hey, you need to work out, or you're too, whatever fat shaming term there is. What if data shows it works? How do you feel about that?
That's data. Whoever wants to perceive it that way is fine to perceive it that way, but also you're a human interacting with another human. You have to also keep in mind data is one thing, that's numbers. It's fine. You can look at that however way you wanted to, but when you're approaching another human where you have no recollection of what they're going through, anything about their life, stuff like that, you have to be mindful of how you approach them. You can say all the numbers you want, but it's just human etiquette.
Okay, but what if, I'll put this to you. What if your doctor is fat shaming?
I'm going to get another doctor.
If my doctor is fat shaming me,
I mean, he's not lying. Your doctor. And
that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to bring it back to the point that I was saying. It depends upon how you perceive it. If it gets to the point where my doctor is like you obese fucking tard, I'm going to be like, damn, bro. I knew I was big, nigga.
Yo, can you imagine your doctor says that shit?
What?
That nigga get fired.
I don't think a doctor would ever say that, but they can tell you are on the borderline of obesity. If you don't, they give you the facts. They tell you if you keep on going, this can lead to hypertension. This could lead to a heart attack. This could lead to this and that.
Which is what they're supposed to do. Right.
Yeah, but that's not fat shaming. That is giving you a clarity of your future and how you can get out of that.
And what I'm trying to say is that. What point, and I agree with you, I don't think as much as I joke about it, I don't think fat shaming works. I mean, there's literally shows it doesn't work. But I'm saying is, at what point do we have to get to where fat shaming is our only option? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
because I personally don't think all the doctors sitting you down and be like, hey, you know what, your BMI came back, is, you know, and they're doing it in a gentle way.
Well,
and
first
like,
of all, the BMI is not inaccurate.
I'm
It's
just
terribly
saying, I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
Well, I'm just letting you know, BMI is a terrible
I don't
like,
think
there's only so many times your doctor can sit down and be like, you know what, last time you came in, I talked about your weight, you came back, you're 20 pounds heavier. Like, this has to be fixed. It's gonna lead to X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. How many times do they have to do that before they say, like, listen, man, get your shit together. You need to get in the gym or X, Y, and Z. Or some people get to the point that ain't that gonna work. They need surgery. But like, how many times, like, how many of these soft approaches do you need before you have to really put your hand down?
Well, I guess my concern is, like, you're saying it for the mass, but every person has a journey, like a weight loss journey.
I understand. And I'm going to say this now. Most, at least in America, most cases of obesity is not underlying health issues. It's diet.
Yeah.
It's lack of exercise.
Yes.
So in all the people who are understand, like, you know, genetics, and they're like, cool. But I'm talking about motherfuckers that cannot stop eating cheeseburgers, who don't know how to, who don't have the drive to go to it. And it's not even a joke. It's like they don't have the drive to get better.
See, but think about it, right?
What do you do for these people to get their lives together?
If they've gotten to that point, clearly first of all, they've definitely have thought about their health. I don't want to say they don't care, but they have other priorities.
I think it's a lack of motivation.
They're comfortable, bro. Yeah. It's comfort.
Have you guys ever seen the show? I think it's called My Big Fat Life or something like that.
Oh, my 600 pounds.
My 600. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I judge the fuck out of them. I'm sorry, bro.
But majority of the time, it's just it got like everything happened. It got to a point where they can't even help themselves anymore. Because like there has to be other. Yes, I know it started off with bad eating habits and stuff like that. But then there has to be something else that caused you to just be like that.
And I'm telling you, it brings it back to a personal choice, bro. You're comfortable. Don't tell me working out is easy. That shit is hard.
It's not supposed to be. That's why it's working out.
You're comfortable, and think about it. You have to find motivation not only to stop eating, but also to do something physically like helpful to your body.
Okay.
Right. After a couple of days, all right. So I'm gonna put myself in a situation. I'll go to the gym for like 4 days. And on day 5, I'm like, nigga, I don't want to wake up and go to the gym anymore. Right. Think about a person who hasn't worked out in 4 years, 5 years. You run on the treadmill for 1 day. The next day, you think you're going to want to get up and go do it again? It's finding that motivational factor to get up and say, all right, I'm willing to go and do something different, and breaking that habit. Right?
I think also getting just like a nutritionist. So like on top of having your primary care doctor telling you like you're obese and you need to work on these things, get this person on contact with someone who's a nutritionist, get them in contact with someone who's a physical trainer who works on this, and then have them actually track the things that they do to help get them to lose these weight. And then positivity is also great. So make sure they have a therapist too. Right. The part of it too is all mental.
But why do we care about other people?
I'm jumping in front of you, but I'm glad you brought that point up because it leads to a point I was going to get to.
Okay.
Data shows obesity is literally killing our healthcare system. Literally. Like, the fatter a country gets, the more expensive healthcare gets. The more it leads to other diseases, you know, diabetes, you name it. We know all the diseases that's a fucking branch of obesity, right? And this is why I go back to the point. This is why I go back to my question: is at what point is fat shaming our only option? Because if we keep giving nutritionists, or like Freddie said, give them nutrition, give them resources in general, and that's not working. What's the option?
Fat shaming's not gonna work.
What do you like? What are your?
I'm not trying to get fat shaming work. I'm trying to have the discussion. I'm trying to have the discussion of like at what point is fat shaming the only option. I'm not saying it's okay.
So let's put an example out here, right? Let's say
maybe fat shaming is a bad term. At what point is tough love? Let's say it that way. At what point is tough love?
Yeah, that's definitely
the only approach. Because I feel like as a country, especially in America, where you know everybody's like my rights this, my rights that. It's not. You can give them all the dietary plans you want. I personally don't think it's gonna get better.
I personally think fat shaming will help.
Unless we literally
Or
ban
tough love.
unhealthy shit.
I think
It's
that's
not gonna happen.
the government needs to.
Right.
A lot of it is to U.S. has very lax like food. What did it call it? It's called like when food laws, pretty much, yeah. So like the amount of ingredients that the FDA approves in certain foods in U.S. is different from what they would approve in other countries because their food laws are a little bit more stricter than the U.S. The U.S. doesn't care. They want to mass produce and they want to make things.
No, I agree.
And truthfully,
a lot of it's that's our government's fault. Like we don't regulate, like Freddie said, we don't regulate the shit they put in food. We don't regulate what these companies are allowed to do to our food, in a sense.
And on an extreme point as well, back to your point, it develops other health issues, and we make a shitload of money as a country off of medications.
Exactly, that's the whole system, and this is
pharmaceutical, baby.
But this is why I'm trying to have the conversation on a personal level. On a personal level, at what point, as an obese person in America, we say, you know what? Fuck McDonald's fault, fuck the government fault, because let's be real, it's a system. Like you said, they get us fat, so we take the medicine. They feed us medicine. Like it's not gonna stop. They're not gonna have the conscious effort to say, you know what, we're killing the American people. Let's not. They don't give a fuck. It's like climate change. Like they'll ignore it until the fucking planet catches on fire. You know what I'm saying? So obviously now the issue has to be fixed on a personal level. Can we at least agree with that?
It has to be fixed on a personal level.
So on a personal level, what do we do? Because
and that's where it comes back. On a personal level, you have to treat each situation differently. You can give me tough love, and I'm like, all right, you're right. You're right. Let me go change something.
You call me fat, I'm gonna cry.
Look, you see what I'm saying? And you talk to
it's gonna hurt my feelings.
You talk to the next person. Now you done hurt their feelings, and their coping mechanism is eating. So now you just made it even worse.
I'm about to binge fuck the shit out of my friend.
No, I agree. Listen, I'm not saying you guys are like.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys sit here thinking as much as I make fun of it, it's just funny. I don't want you guys sit here and think I'm pro fat shaming. It's just I feel like at some point it works. Right. It's just like, but you're right. That's how I am. Like my mom, bro, I'm Jamaican. When Jamaicans greet you, be like, "Oh, you got fat man."
Oh yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and if you're too skinny, you haven't been eating.
Exactly.
Right.
But I know if my family member says that, it's not even a concern. It's just they're giving me like a life update because maybe I don't see myself as fat. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I take it as, you know what?
Thank you.
Let me get my ass in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just double take on that? I feel like I've gone through that too, but it's been the opposite side. I've always been relatively skinny. Okay. Like it's been always hard for me to gain weight and keep it. And for most of my life, I kept on, because Haitians use the word sexy for saying that you're skinny. Like, oh, you're trying to be sexy.
Being slim with being sexy.
Exactly. They were like, oh, she's trying to be sexy.
Europe, that's basically the same shit.
But the moment I turned, maybe like 20, I started gaining, 17, 18, 19, 20, I started gaining a little bit more weight. And then I would go to these same family members that were calling me, oh, you're trying to be sexy. No. Oh, you've gained some weight, huh? You've been eating, huh? Look at you. When you gonna get to the gym? When you gonna exercise?
These are people in America?
In my family, yes.
Have they seen Americans?
I still talk to them to this day. I had somebody literally come up to me and pinch my stomach and was like, "Oh, you need to lose weight."
See, that's weird. That's weird. You know
so
what I'm
it's just like either side. It hurt me when I was skinny, and it made me force eat when I didn't really need to, because I thought something was wrong with my body. And then when I gained the weight, I was like, okay, I'm finally good. Right. Then it made me feel like, oh shit, now you need to lose weight because you don't look the same anymore. So that, I don't agree when family do that. If you see me and I'm a family member, there's a polite way of telling someone that, hey, maybe.
Okay, in your personal, how's the ideal way for you? Somebody tell you like, hey, I think, X, Y, Z.
Is there a nice way to do that?
I don't see it.
I don't see a nice way of doing that, but for me, it would be okay to be like, hey, yo, younger cousins. I feel like the adults, they're terrible at doing it. But like if my cousins came up to me like, hey, yo, I'm about to go to the gym. You want to go with me? I'm fine with that.
See, and I'm glad you said that. That's the way I don't like. I don't like the little subtle shit. No, tell me you think I'm fucking going out of control. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit motivates me. And again, ultimately, it's all coming down to personal preferences and shit. But I don't want somebody to tell me like, hey, I'm about to go for a run. You want to come? Like,
okay. Or if I mention it myself, like a lot of us can reflect on our body shapes, right? Mm-hmm. You look at yourself in the mirror how many times a day? You walk by a mirror most of the time. You look at your phone. You see yourself in your reflection all the time. If I'm sitting with someone and I tell them, hey, I kind of feel like I'm in a slump or I kind of feel heavy. Those are my key terms to telling you that I don't like my body right now. So if that pings you, you could be like, what do you want to do about it?
Okay, and on the flip side as well, how do you tell somebody you care for? Because, again, it's not like weight is not an issue. It is an issue, right? How do you tell somebody you care for that, hey, I think, you're getting a little weight. It's not healthy.
I think...
How do you approach that?
Sitting down with them one-on-one exactly the way you said it is fine. That is not offensive at all.
Nah, you gotta let jokes fly, yo.
That's the part that becomes offensive.
Like another chicken leg, bro? Damn.
That's the part I'm slapping.
It depends on who you're talking to, bro. It depends on who you're talking to.
I would never do that.
If you came up to me and I was playing like Madden or some shit like that, like when you... All right, prime example.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Go ahead,
you know what I'm saying? Like you at the crib playing Madden, right? And I come in, I see you playing, I see you eating. I'm like, damn, nigga, like you still playing, like shit like that. But I can talk to you like that because that's the relationship that
not
we
taking
have.
it personal, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But I'm not gonna talk to Freddie like that if she had. I'm not saying that you're fat, okay? Because the Lord have mercy.
I didn't take that.
Right. I don't want no problems, big
Next
fella.
episode,
Bro, full clip Freddie on the loose. Nigga, I'm not playing.
Freddie's wanted fugitive. No, but I agree.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna. It depends. It's personal preference, bro. Right.
And then the other part of it for me is the acceptance of obesity. I won't say obesity, but like the being big is beautiful, or what real? Not even that. Okay, being big, like it is beautiful. I mean, there are beautiful.
I think they're beautiful big women.
What drives me nuts?
Absolutely.
What drives me up the fucking wall is when people sit on social media and say them being obese is healthy. That's what drives. Like, it's a fucking blatant lie. Science alone tells you it's not healthy. But to dismiss it and say it's one thing to say I look good, I'm pretty cool. Beautiful. I'm all for that. But you're not gonna sit here and tell people you are healthy. It's not. And that's what drives me nuts.
I understand that
and
as well.
Those people should get fat shamed. Because they're promoting. Now, hear me out. Because they're promoting shit that is not healthy. Those people should get.
They're promoting self-confidence.
That's not self-confidence. Big is beautiful is self-confidence. Saying I am healthy, like I'm not.
Wait, can I?
Go ahead.
There are people that physically are just naturally bigger. Like that's just their body. I know. Let me finish. There are people that are physically just naturally bigger, and if you look at everything, like if they do a health check, it's possible that they are relatively healthy. They just are bigger. Oh. So I don't want to say big is unhealthy, but there are there are people that their lifestyle, how they go about, and that everything that they're doing is unhealthy, and they're just saying that just to.
Yeah, and those are people I'm talking about. They should get
I just wanted to be very clear.
Like, listen, the Rock is fucking huge. But I'm not gonna look at The Rock and be like, oh, he's unhealthy. That nigga can fucking kick my ass 6 ways to Sundays. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if you want to get technical, he might be unhealthy because all that muscle and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but my point is, The Rock's not going. For example, anybody on 600-pound life, if they look at me and tell me I'm healthy, go fuck yourself, straight up. Like, I'm not going to do this sympathy, but, like, no. Go fuck yourself. Because you're a blatant goddamn liar. Like, I'm sorry. This is the truth.
Sanjay doesn't like liars, everyone.
What if they're doing the thing?
I don't like liars. I don't like people lying to themselves, Freddie. That's the worst.
What if they're doing the thing where they're speaking it into existence?
It don't work with fat, bro.
You got to
speak it into the gym, my guy.
You can talk to yourself. I'm healthy. I'm beautiful. And then you get up and go to the gym.
I'm rich and I'm white. How's that?
I mean, you could have got away with the rich part.
What you saying? I'm not gonna turn white by tomorrow. I'm not gonna get the case of Michael Jackson.
I mean, you can bleach your skin to some shadow, fucking know. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it could be like speaking it into existence, right? Because it's a mindset. Not saying, because you might be unhealthy as hell, but you don't want to wake up and be like, yeah, good morning, I'm unhealthy and I'm fat as shit. Mm-hmm. You can tell yourself, hey, good morning, I feel healthy. All right, what if she said, I feel healthy?
No. If you're not healthy, I don't care if you feel healthy.
It's It's also your perception of what healthy is too. What if this person 5 years ago was like worse health than what they are now?
But
that is healthier.
Okay, and that's fine. But they're actively if they're better than they were 5 years ago, I would like to assume they're working on getting healthier.
Right.
That's
Okay,
different.
But
I'm talking about the motherfuckers that sit on TikTok and Instagram and do not work out, and they look at you and tell you, I am a healthy person. We know these people exist. I'm not pulling this shit out of nowhere.
I get what you mean, but I'm not gonna fat shame nobody, no matter.
I'm not. Listen,
You
I
just said they deserve to be fat shamed.
I said they deserved, but I haven't said one fat shame thing. I'm not gonna say it on this mic.
Maybe when we get off the camera.
But in them comments, I'm gonna let that bitch flaunt. Now I'm playing. I'm playing.
If y'all ever see his Instagram in anybody's comment,
you motherfucker!
I hope y'all flag him.
Costing us tax dollars.
Oh my god!
I'm playing. But I just wanted to bring up fat shaming because I don't know. I saw a few TikToks this week, like honestly, and it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't the people that like, oh, I'm healthy. It's just I want to have a conversation about a topic because, to be honest, fat shaming works for me, but like we said,
it's a personal preference.
Exactly. It just, you know what I'm saying.
I think it's something that people need to talk about a lot more,
especially in the black community.
Yeah.
Because, bro, I don't know why black people get diabetes like goddamn the common cold.
You don't know why?
I know why.
A lot of our ingredients that we use are not healthy.
But again, we don't have these conversations.
Exactly.
Like, and it's not like we can change where the food comes from. I mean, we could ultimately, but it's a lot easier to live a healthy lifestyle than to attack a big pharma or attack these farms.
Well, a lot of the reason for, at least for my culture, I had this conversation with mom. I have to switch how I eat now because I have some medical issues going on. Yeah. And I told my mom not to use certain things. She's like, but it's not going to taste good. Yeah. So I'm just like, then don't cook for me.
First of all, rude. Tell mom not to cook. Like,
no, because because like when I was seriously looking at it, I'm like, you Maggie cubes.
Oh yeah, I'm just sodium.
High in sodium, and I just found this out. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been knowing that.
Because I don't really look at these things because that's how I grew up. I cook with love, but now I'm like, I look at these.
To be fair, a little bit less love.
And I'm not sitting here like I'm some fucking in shape guru, but like to be fair, I lucked out because one of the girls like I dated and lived with was a dietitian, so I would hear it constantly. As much as it was annoying then, it worked out. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot of like little things that my mom or would never learn just growing up in my house that, you know, like the sodium shit, like carbs and like all that shit. These are discussions we need to have as families, as the black community, just as a country in general, dude.
Just as America, could you look at outside countries, bro? Mm-hmm. Like, you're an oddball if you're
crazy enough.
Come on,
America's not even the fattest country in the world.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
But I'll show you the data, but I'll give my 2 cents. So this, by adult males, these are the list of the quote unquote fattest countries in the world. Adult males, America is 14th.
We're number 14.
But keep in mind, it's like 100 and something countries in the world, right? So we're up there.
Does that say Norway?
And to be honest, we're really, in my eyes, we're really number one because if you look at all these countries above us, right? They're not even half the size of America. So if you're talking about like by square feet or just a concentration.
Yeah.
We're like the whole list.
No, but actually.
That's what I'm saying. Like, by percentage. If you do it by percentages, we're not that big. But I know if you go by individual numbers, motherfucker, it's a massive amount of fucking people.
It's true. Because
and that's how they mask these problems.
I was watching, I think it was a TikTok as well. It was an Asian girl. I don't remember specifically what country it was. But she said, here in America, I'm a size extra small.
Right.
And then in her other country, or she was
like
small here and she's an extra large in the other country or something like that.
Yeah.
Cause so it's different about the perception. So, and she was a good looking girl, bro. Like she was.
And on top of that, like just as somebody who's traveled a few, like, bro, when I go to these countries, the portion sizes, bro, like a Coke bottle is like this. I'm
Bro.
like, y'all better put some fucking respect on my name, nigga.
Bro,
Like,
I went to Burger King the other day and I got a medium.
fuck Burger King. You ever been to Wendy's and
Yo!
got a fucking medium, bro? That shit's like this, my guy. I'm like,
What?
who y'all trying to kill, bro?
Nigga, I'm like, I was to get a large, bro. What am I drinking, nigga?
And you're not getting no Diet Coke and no large. Nigga. Like,
No.
you know, there's roots of all these issues, and to be fair, it's the big farmers, like we said.
Right.
It's these, you know, the McDonald's, the fast food, the shortcuts they take in food preservation.
I mean,
in producing larger crops at quicker rates,
Exactly.
like GMOs. There's like a bunch of shit you can point at. But if we want to get serious and realistic, we have to look at ourselves individually and start having these conversations.
Agreed.
And start fat shaming the right people.
No
That's
fat
all
shaming.
Overall,
He
just
was
fat
doing
shame
good,
properly.
and then he ended on such a terrible note.
If you're gonna fat shame,
I said who I wanted
Fat
to be
shame
fat shamed, all
appropriately.
right? Because they need to be, because they're spreading propaganda and bullshit.
Oh
all
my
right,
God.
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And that's it for today's discussion. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Freddie, but I'm B. All right, I'm living my best life.